I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity, that place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Welcome in. Howdy ho, howdy hey. How the hell are you, everybody? It's Sunday morning. It's a big one. Biggest one of the year so far to date for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Backs up against the wall. 3 losses in a row. We're reeling. There's no other way to put it. The Buccaneers are reeling. And we're in danger, folks. We are in big danger. If we do not go out there, kick some ass, and get the W today in a game that damn near means playoff contention at this point. And we'll get into all that, so much more, as we get into the Buccateers here. You guys are joining us on YouTube or Facebook right now. We appreciate it. The instant replay will be available on Apple, Spotify, Google, and so much more. But welcome into the way too early pregame show, Breakfast with the Buccateers. Tampa Tones here alongside J-Lo. Maybe getting some other OGs in the building here as we go on. But Tones and J-Lo here to take you through some Buccaneers football talk, Bucs pregame talk, and all that fun good stuff right now. We also have an NFL game going on early in Germany, the first one of the year in Germany, where we'll take you through updates and all that good stuff as this game continues along the way with us. As the Chiefs are currently up 7-0 middle of the first quarter. Rashee Rice caught a touchdown early on there, but never a doubt that J-Lo's in the house. J-Lo, how the hell are you? Looked like you had a fun day yesterday, brother, at Magic Kingdom. Hopefully you can carry some of that fun into the Bucs game today. The Bucs could go out there, have some fun, and bust these Houston Texans nuts a little bit. How the hell are we?
Oh, good, man. Good. Full of energy, man. I got my rest, got my coffee in me, and I'm ready to go, man. It's going to be an interesting day. We're going to find out what we're really made of. Either we're about it or we're not. At the end of the day, if you can't beat a depleted offensive line, Houston Texans rookie quarterback team, then I guess it is what it is. They might as well go ahead and figure out what next offseason is going to be. I hate to say it like that. If you can't beat a team like Houston, then I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, and they've been up and down this year. They are on their 4th-string center, though, so you love to hear that. They are without a couple other offensive linemen. Starting running back Dameon Pierce, former Florida Gator, is out of the building today. He is out for the Texans. Robert Woods, one of their better wide receivers, is out today for the Texans as well. So they're going to have their injuries to battle, J-Lo. They got a lot to deal with on their plate as Kyle Husted joins us on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, Kyle. We do appreciate it. But
thank you, Kyle.
We're going to start off by kind of dissecting this game, see if there's any more late injuries. But just from what we know so far, J-Lo, on the Texans side of the ball, between Dame Pierce being out, Robert Woods being out, or their banged-up offensive line, which one do you think benefits the Bucs the most today? Do you think it's their wide receiver being out, their running back being out, or their O-line banged up a little bit? I go with the O-line being banged up because the Bucs D-line and pass rush has to get going a little bit, and we will get Vita Vea back today, presumably, as well. So I think a lot of good things to come on that forefront, perhaps. But what say you about it?
No, I agree. Offensive line's pretty beat up. I mean, yeah, not having Dameon Pierce and Robert Woods are a plus, but that offensive line is so beat up. I mean, this pass rush should be able to get in there and put pressure, shut down the run. With Vita Vea being back, that's a huge benefit because I think we missed him a lot last week when we played Buffalo, as far as shutting down the run, getting pressure. So their O-line being beat up, that's the biggest key of the game, in my opinion. And like I said, Bulls got to take full advantage of it and get these boys going.
Yeah, and we have to see Bowles capitalize today. It seemed like at the beginning of the year he surely was kind of picking those spots, picking the battles, and getting after the quarterback a little bit more, calling these defensive plays. But the past couple of games, it seems like we've been stagnant. I'm not sure if that's because of more superior opponents like the Buffalo Bills of the world, like the Detroit Lions of the world. But regardless, the Bucs have to pick it up today, and they have to get after the quarterback. I know Shaq had a very tough offseason, both off the field and with injury, but we have to see more from him today. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, we have to see more from him today. Kalijah Kancey, he's been good as a rookie, but I'd like to see him get after it today. We got to see these things happen, J-Lo. I think if we get C.J. Stroud off point, off his game a little bit, we rush him a little bit, I think he's going to get a little bit of those rookie jitters back there, and just maybe the Bucs starting defensive backs could finally get their first interception of the year today if they make Stroud do things he's not supposed to do.
Gotta play man. Gotta get back to the man. Like Jamar Chase said about Carlton Davis yesterday, being like the best corner he's faced so far, and Bulls should really take that consideration that enough trying to be, rocking Ryan Neal's strength by going, the whole scheme. You need to let the guys play at the best strength and get them off the field and put somebody else in at this point. So this is probably the last opportunity.
And J-Lo, you make a good point because we're paying both of these corners, Dean and Davis, to kind of be man-to-man corners, right? We're paying them that top dollar because, as you said, Jamar Chase came out and said how effective a guy like Carlton Davis is. The front office seen that as well. They paid him, and now they're not playing him in man-to-man as much as I would like to see. I really think you're onto something there. I think if we see more man-to-man, this defense would be a lot more successful as a whole, but continue.
Nah, seriously. I mean, like I said, I just don't get why they're being so specialty to this safety who's getting paid peanuts to play here. But yeah, you're paying two top corners. Let them play at their best trait. And if Neal can't play safety, then get him the hell out of there and put in somebody that will play, next man up. Delaney showed that he showed up when he had to show up. Yeah, he may have been the best tackler, but at least he'll cover his guy and defend the damn ball. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to pick on Neal. I get, he had a decent year in Seattle last year, but we're at the point now where we're getting owned on third down. We got to get off the field.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Neal in like a limited aspect, right? Where we sub him in here and there, where he's, making probably playing, around the 15 to 25% of snaps a game mark, where we really utilize him to his strengths. We could let him be a playmaker, heavy hitter type. But I'm sorry, I can't agree more with you. I'm tired of seeing Ryan Neal out there and get burnt. And then as much as I do love Coach Bowles, I know a lot of people aren't fans of him. I met the guy in person. He's a hell of a guy. Coaching aside, he's just a great human being. So I'm not going to get into his coaching side of things, but, he's got to be brilliant enough. I met the guy. He's a very smart football mind. He used to play football. Bowles has to be smart enough, brilliant enough to realize that, hey, Ryan Neal is a liability more oftentimes than not out there. I don't care what the film, quote unquote, shows you, as Bowles is quick to protect a lot of his guys, Jeremy. I think that's Bowles' biggest flaw. He protects his guys like Devin White, Ryan Neal, etc. But with those guys playing bad, you got to take him out, especially Ryan Neal. And let's pivot to Devin White while we're at it. Yeah, you can't continue to have him miss on big plays. He's trying to make splash plays, and he's making no plays. I mean, he's had an incredible 1, 2, 3 weeks to the year. Weeks 1 through 3, he was all over the damn place, and now it's like, where's Waldo out there? You can't find him. He's hiding. And J-Lo, what say you? I mean, it's disappointing that we're not making schematic adjustments, personnel adjustments. It's week 9 now. I know we keep saying, well, the coaches keep saying, it's early. Until when? Is it early until December now? What the hell's going on?
Exactly, and then wait until it's too late. I mean, we got a chance to run the table and win these games we're supposed to win, and Bowles is gonna. What's he gonna do? He's gonna wait till after Thanksgiving, after he has his little Thanksgiving feast with his family, to realize, oh shit, man, I gotta step my game up. When it's too late, I mean, we gotta gain ground. They gotta win these games. And at the end of the day, Devin White, I don't care what anybody tells me, he's fine, blah blah blah. It's all horse shit. At the end of the day, the man is not playing as explosive like he usually does. Because the only time I have seen him play is week 1 against Minnesota. He was all over the place, slamming motherfuckers, doing what he's supposed to do. But then now, after that, he like disappears. Like, where the hell is Waldo at? Like, you know, he's obviously something's bothering him, whether it's a groin or not. They're not reporting it. And Bowles can defend him all he wants, like it's his son. But at the end of the day, he's gonna cost you your job, bro. You know, I understand you got loyalty. Loyalty's fine and dandy. But like any other typical coach, any coach would make that move, saying, you know, Devin, why don't you go sit on the bench? We'll throw you in on certain plays to get after the quarterback. And then when you're fully healed or you're somewhat healed and I see some explosion, there you go. I mean, look at Leonard Fournette, for example. 2020, he was not playing great. He was not playing at all. And what did Mercedes do? He put him on the bench. Put him on the bench, make him learn the hard way, and look what happened. He became this big-time running back in the playoffs and helped us win a Super Bowl. So there's nothing wrong with benching a player when they're not playing good.
Some guys need a reality check.
They do. And you see it all the time in football, dude. I mean, that's just how it is. Sometimes you got to bench them. And I know a lot of people are all over Devin White. You can be fans, whatever. I don't wish the man any bad. I just want him to play better. You know, and if you're hurt, dude, go to the sideline and tell your coach, I'm hurt. Don't be scared.
I don't think anyone disagrees with you there, J-Lo, as the Godfather's joining us on Facebook either. But yeah, you know, do what you want. Don't do what you want, I'm saying, in this situation. If you're a little banged up, you're a little slowed down by something, you got to be honest. As Pepin Steppins joining us, must win today, I believe. Our early bye week deflated our mojo. I'm going to ask you that question as well, J-Lo, because that's something that Pops was kind of saying at the time as well. Now Pepin Steppin ask it. Do you believe that an earlier bye week maybe threw off the Bucs a little bit? They were 3-1 at the time of the bye. You know, they were kind of living large, although no huge wins yet. You did have a couple nice road victories against Minnesota, against the Saints. As the Godfather says, good morning, men. Happy Sunday, fun day, football day. Happy Sunday, fun day, football day to you, sir. Good luck to your team and your money today, wherever your money might lie today. I will say 3 bets I like. Well, I'm going to save those for our betting segment. But J-Lo, let's ask you that. Do you think the early bye week deflated our mojo? And we do have a little bit of a development here in the German game, as Jalen Waddle has exited the game and is questionable to return with a knee injury at this point. So Jalen Waddle, big-time wide receiver on the Dolphins, is down early. We'll see if he gets back up. But J-Lo, what say you on the fact that, hey, did the early bye when the Bucs are 3-1 ruin our mojo a little bit per se?
I think it did. Even though our injured players rested and we got them all back, but for some reason that cockiness went to the shitter. Like they went and played Detroit and we got manhandled. We can do nothing. Like Baker was off his game. He kept holding the ball too long. Like, get rid of the fucking ball. Throw it to your open receivers. But he didn't do it. And I get it, you know, he's like 6'1" and stuff like that. But dude, you gotta hit your open players, man. You gotta get the defensive rest. And I feel like the early bye we did throw them off. I think they bought the hype a little too much. I mean, we all did. We all thought, you know, damn, we can't compete this year. You know, I thought for sure we were going to get Detroit a hell of a game. I didn't think we were going to win, but at the same time, I thought we were going to give them a hell of a game. But at the end of the day, the early bye week, you know, there's pros and cons to it. You know, pros are where your players get healthy. But cons is, you know, you get off the mojo, you slack a little bit, and now we're on a 3-game losing streak. So, that's why I'm a big fan of the early bye weeks. I'm more of a later on type guy, like not week 9, week 10. You know, that way you can kind of evaluate how your players are doing. And I think it's what throws Bowles off because you don't know who the real players are. Now we're seeing Aaron Staney come in, taking over, and he played pretty well. Let's see how he does today. We may not see Matt Feiler back on the offensive line unless someone gets hurt. at the end of the day, you gotta go with the best player will play. And you can't just be loyal to these so-called, duds we've been signing over the offseason. But the bye weeks, it's pros and cons, man. But I feel like the early bye week definitely messed us up a little bit. And hopefully this little mini bye week gave them some clarity. Like, okay, guys, like Antoine Winfield said, what kind of team we're going to be this year? Are we going to be a team that's going to compete, or we're just going to be a team we're going to be manhandled? There's no real lead in the locker room as much anymore. I hate to say it. Like when we had JPP there, running the show in 2020, hyping the boys up, Dominican Sue. I feel like there's no voice in there. I feel like we're back to like 2018 Bucks, where there's no voice in the locker room.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Bucks need to show something today. Pepin Steppen has them show something. He has them winning 27-14 and says,
Right.
"Thank God we have Winfield Jr." Yeah, I like that score prediction, 27-14. Again, I really think if the Bucks could close the gap on CJ Stroud a little bit, make him run around a little bit, make him feel uncomfortable, I think they could have a long day with the kid. And he has shown flashes to this point, no doubt about it, but he's also showing that he does have some cracks in his armor as well, and that he's not invincible out there as much rookies aren't invincible out there. I mean, you look at his past couple of games, and they haven't really been putting up a lot of points, right? They lost 15-13 last week at Carolina. The week before they beat the Saints, but they only put up 20. They won 20-13 there. Week before they lost to the Falcons 21-19. Really the last time they put up points in a hurry, which was, a little too nice game stretch from them. September 24th against the Jaguars, they won 37-17, and October 1st against the Steelers, they won 30-6. Since then, they've played 3 ho-hum games, and I think they're giving us a chance to come into the building today and really have a chance to be effective out there in terms of shutting down their offense, especially without a couple of their big guys, a couple of their offensive linemen as well. But to follow up on the development earlier about Jalen Waddle, he has returned to the game here for the Miami Dolphins, which is
Just made a
good.
catch.
Yep, just made a catch and just had a nice little reverse type run as well. J-Lo, I'm going to ask you this. I don't know why Bucs fans are still... I don't want to sound harsh here. I really don't want to sound harsh here, but I'm wondering why Bucs fans even consider Devin White a top 3 priority heading into next offseason at this point in time. But I'll ask you this, J-Lo, since some Bucs fans do have it. Steppen Peppins talking about Winfield Jr. We'll answer the Baker Trask question here in a minute. But J-Lo, let's start with you here. We have Antoine Winfield Jr. being a free agent next year. He surely is above Devin White, in my opinion, in terms of re-signing, no doubt about it. You have Levante David. To me, if he wants to return to the Bucs, he comes before Devin White in terms of re-signing. I don't care. He might only have 1 year left. If Levante wants to play in Tampa, he is priority number 2 heading into next offseason. And then Mike Evans is 3, and I put him only behind Levante because of how much money he's asking for. I'd put him right next to Levante if he was being a little more realistic. Like, we've seen Levante come back on a team-friendly discount this year, right? So we know Levante is capable of doing that, a little bit more realistic. When it gets to Mike Evans, I want him back. I'd put him priority 3 for this offseason, although he's asking for $28 million. I think the Bucs can negotiate it down to a Godwin type, 3 years, $61 million, and then build in incentives along the way. Hey, Mike, you get to 1,000 yards, you'll get a couple mil more. Hey, Mike, we make it this far in the playoffs. Hey, Mike, you make an all-pro, yada, 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 that sort of thing. So I think Evans will get a base of 20.3-ish million with a lot of built-in incentives, right? Probably 4 to 6 built-in millions per year potentially. So just talking about free agents alone, I have Antoine Winfield Jr., I have Levante David, I have Mike Evans ahead of Devin White. And, oh, by the way, the guy I'd put ahead of Antoine Winfield even, and we're going to talk about it a little bit, Tristan Wirfs. A lot of people are saying, oh, don't worry, we still have him under contract for next year. Well, a couple of murky things there. Number one, he'll be on his 5th-year option in the 2024 season. So Yeah, it's nice right now that we have that in our back pocket, right? Hey, we'll pick up his 5th year. He'll still be on the Bucs, but you don't get no 6th-year option. You don't get no 7th-year option. We have no security beyond that 5th year. So he's technically playing out his contract one way or another. And number two, that offensive line price keeps going up and up and up and up. And we see it by the week now. We seen it with the D line the other day, edge rush, I should say, with the Bears paying Montez Sweat $24.75 million a year. You know that Tristan Wirfs number is going to get astronomical eventually. So my priorities heading into next season would be lock Wirfs up to like a 10-year contract. Never let him leave. Lock him in. Then re-sign Winfield. Then worry about Evans and Levante. You could put them however the hell you want to order them, bring them both back, as long as Evans is being realistic. To be honest, I can't pay Mike Evans $28 million a year. I'm sorry. I know he's a great guy. I know what he's done here, but I love him. One of my favorite Bucs ever. I just can't pay him a base of $28 million a year. That's what Tyreek Hill makes. I mean, we see Tyreek Hill taking over football games. We see Mike take him over too here and there, but the way Tyreek could do it is next level. J-Lo, I think Devin White, and this isn't even considering our quarterback situation. This isn't even considering our 2024 draft class that will have to fit into the cap as well. We will have a better cap next year as Tom Brady's number isn't a direct hit on our cap, which will be a big help. And, we only signed a couple bargain bin free agents this year, like Baker Mayfield, Greg Gaines, Logan Ryan. So it didn't really drive up our credit card bill too much. But am I missing something here? Or why the hell are Bucs fans still seriously considering Devin White the top priority heading into this offseason? Am I missing something? It makes no sense. I know Devin White's quote unquote one of the bigger names, but if you actually watch the games, break it down, and look at it, he's not even in the top 4 of priorities heading into next offseason.
No, he's not. And like I said, I guess it's all hype at the moment, but at the end of the day, I think you pretty much nailed it on the head as far as the first 3 to 4 priorities. And I'll tell you one thing, Winfield Jr., we can't get a contract down. We're going to franchise him. There's no way he's going to hit the market. I promise you that.
And that's why I would worry about extending worse, because you could franchise a guy like Winfield and still like do what you did with Godwin and work on a long-term deal with him, right? If you franchise tag a guy like Wirfs, I could easily see him being like, hold on. The safety franchise tag is a lot more opportunistic than the left tackle franchise tag. I'll just say that.
Or even at linebacker. I mean, no, I'm telling you, Devin White will be lucky to get maybe 11 to 13 million, whoever team wants to take that chance on him. Just like Mike Evans, I love the guy to death. After Mike Allstott, he was the Nets winning line as my favorite Buck player all time. And like I said, no team's going to pay him that kind of salary. They won't. One, because of his age. He's, 30 now? Mm-hmm. 30 to 31 by the time that comes. And then, I can see him giving us a little discount to help us bring back players. That's just the type of guy he is. To me, I think it's all, tactic by his agent saying, hey, this could be your last chance to get a bit payday, and then that's it, because you're not going to be getting a bigger contract till you're 33 or 34. And plus, you got to think, Godwin, he's going to be on 1 year next off season. So we don't even know how we're going to retain him. He's been the most consistent one out of the group. No respect to Mike. Mike's got his touchdowns. But however, Mike has had really bad drops. I feel like the pressure is being all over him. And now he has to show up. Because to me, Mike, if you really want that contract, you got to play better. You got to make those catches. You got, and then as far as Baker goes, I don't think I want to bring him back. He's not the long-term solution to me. To me, he's a bridge quarterback now, to where maybe I'll bring him back on a 1 year, maybe $13, $14 million deal if he's willing to take it. But it's too early to tell right now. Right now, he's our quarterback for now. But I will say this, though. If he cannot play better and win this game today, I think it's time to make some business moves like QB change, which we'll talk about later. But anyway, But I think no one priority is Antoine Winfield Jr. I think he'll get franchised if we can't get a contract done. Wirfs, I feel like he's going to get his contract one way or the other. He loves it here. He wants to be here. I mean, he's improving. His leadership. I feel like trying to hype the line up. I gotta admit, I miss Ryan Jensen, man. I really do.
Big Red is truly missed on this team.
Yes, but at the end of the day, Mike Evans. We'll see what happens. I know they're going to test the market, see what they offer, and then we have a chance to match it. It's actually good tactic by Jason Light. Jason Light doesn't get a lot of credit. Yeah, his draft these last couple of years hasn't panned out well, but he has brought in some talent. I mean, he brought in a good coach and Bruce Arians. Even though Arians left us with, some coaches I feel like are not on his level as far.
And at the end of the day, too, he's a crucial part of why Tom Brady ended up here, because his relationship with the Patriots and all that good stuff. But Pepin says if Baker stinks it up today, do you think Trask gets in? I still think we're weeks away from seeing Trask, to be honest. And I'm a big Trask guy. I got his creamsicle. I got his red jersey. I'm ready for him to roll. But to me, the reason why Baker's going to maintain the starter today, even if he stinks it up a bit for at least a week or two more, the locker room really buys into Baker right now for whatever reason, for better or for worse. And Todd Bowles is fighting for his career right now. He's fighting for his head coaching career, I should say, because I do think Bowles would get gobbled up pretty quick as a defensive coordinator if he wanted to be. But at the end of the day, if he's not our coach next year, he might just retire. He's no spring chicken anymore either. But, that's a whole nother story to get into. But the Baker Mayfield thing, I think he's going to be the starter at least until through the 49ers game. I think after the 49ers game, we could see a change potentially. And the way we see a change is Nani's joining us on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, Nancy. It's been incredible having you here as well, as the Buccateers is rolling at 10:09 Eastern time, less than 3 hours away from kickoff to this point. But Baker Mayfield is going to be our starter through the San Fran game at the very least for multiple reasons. A, we have the chance to right the ship with the Texans and Titans this week and next week. Not looking ahead, not looking behind. But you're on a 3-game losing streak. You have a real legitimate chance to knock the dust off of that losing streak and start a winning streak by getting 2 in a row here, putting yourself back over 500, and at the very least in the playoff picture for that 7 seed or the NFC South. So the Bucs still have 2 paths to the playoffs as well. A lot of people forget that. It's not NFC South or bust. It's NFC South, 7 seed or bust. So Baker Mayfield right now has the guys vibing. He gives them the best chance of win for a couple of weeks. B, even if the Bucs go out there, knock on wood, worst case scenario, turn this 3-game losing streak into a 5-game losing streak, just say presumably somehow the world falls, the sky falls, we end up dropping games to the Texans and Titans, we somehow get to 3-6. Well, then that San Fran game, I know this is a must win, but then that San Fran game is legitimately season on the line. If you end up going to 3-7 after that with the loss at San Fran, that's a very legit reason why you would turn to Kyle Trask at that point in time. You're 3-7, the season's withered away. At that point, you're on a egregious losing streak at 6 games it would be, and you have every reason in the book to turn to Kyle Trask. And why would you really want to put Trask in at San Fran with that sort of defense in his first career NFL start? I just think that would be a little bit of a tall task for him. So at the very least, J-Lo, whether we win 2 in a row, whether we lose 2 in a row, I think that San Fran game will be the pivotal key to see who our starting quarterback is for the remainder of the season. I firmly believe if we win these next 2 games, or even 2 out of the next 3 games, Baker Mayfield's going to be the starter at least until mid-December. If we drop 2 in a row, or if we drop 3 in a row, if we drop 2 in a row and beat San Fran, Baker stays on. If we drop a couple in a row, though, QB questions might be had, but I think it's too early to turn to Baker. What say you? Or turn to Trask. What say you?
No, you brought about points. Very valid points. Even if we don't get the win today, we're still very much in it. But at the end of the day, a lot of Bucs fans, including myself, has gone frustrated the last 3 games. But I think that brings on valid points. Because by then, you're pretty much really out of the reach of postseason play if you drop 3 in a row. So that's why at least the Bucs have got to at least win 2 out of the 3. And I think the next 2 games are today and next week's game are very winnable if they show up. They got to show up to play. And you're right, Baker is a leader in that locker room. A lot of players like him. He's gained respect with a lot of players. They all believe in him. But at the same time, Baker, you gotta get the football to your star players, man. You gotta look. You got Tristan blocking your blind side, who I trust 100% because the guy's, to me, is an all-pro tackle. Luke Gedeke, he's shown up pretty well in the pass blocking, and you got to set the run play. At the end of the day, Baker, I agree with you. I think these next 3 games will show and tell, whether we need to go to Trask or not. I'm a big Trask guy. You already know. A lot of people know. I've been on his bandwagon for a long time. But if you were to put him in, let's say next week, and you bench Baker, that pretty much drops the confidence down for all the players, and you want to
Pretty much seems like you're waving the white flag at that point and seeing Baker and seeing what Trask has, right?
Absolutely. And plus, Bowles is coaching for his job. This is his career on the line because he's not going to get another shot if he gets fired from here. He's not going to get another shot at head coaching. He might be a D coordinator. He'll have a job. That's going to be a given, but he won't be running a football team ever again. And I think, switching to Trask the next 3 games is not ideal. I think aftermath, depending how we do today, the next 2 weeks, that to me, that's when we start thinking, okay, if we're 3-7, then yes, it's time to turn the page. It's time to see what we have in Trask. It's time to see what we have in some of these other young Bucks. We got like Savasi Dennis. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not the coaches. Bolt's going to do what he wants to do. And I just don't see him putting Trask in the next 3 weeks, depending on how we do. But on Baker's standpoint, you got to ball out, brother. You got to go in there and ball the fuck out. Because obviously we're not going to be able to run the ball. He made that known. We're a throw-force football team. Okay, cool. Use your players. Use your 2-star receivers. You got 2 all-pro receivers on your roster. Use them. And then
you make a good point there, J-Lo, by saying Bowles and Baker, kind of lumping him together, because I look at it like this as well. Guys like Todd Bowles, guys like Baker Mayfield, guys like Rashad White, they're not fighting for their NFL jobs, but they're fighting for starting jobs, right? All 3 of those guys, if Bowles has a down year, he might not be a head coach ever again, as we alluded to. If Baker has a down year, he might not be a starting quarterback ever again. And if Rashad White doesn't pick it up a little bit, he might never be a starting running back ever again, more of a third down type guy. So, J-Lo, right now, when you have 3 guys in that important of positions, head coach, starting quarterback, starting running back, this hungry, I think that's another element too. These guys are going to keep fighting. They're going to keep giving you everything they got to try and win football games.
Mm-hmm.
As it looks like the Chiefs just caused a turnover here in Germany. The Dolphins were around the 50-yard line, fumbled, and it's Chiefs football, it looks like. So,
you're ahead of the game on me because I'm still seeing the Dolphins offense on the field. But anyway.
Yeah, it looks like it. That should be incomplete to me. I don't think that's a catch. It looks like Jeff Wilson Jr. out of the backfield bobbles the football, trying to bring it into his body. Yep, and they're calling it incomplete now. So at first they called it a turnover. Now they're calling it incomplete. But enough of that update. J-Lo, we're going to talk about some Bucs bets here in a minute. We're going to see what we like today, what we don't like out there, see the prop bets available, see if we're feeling frisky with anything. And a friendly reminder, the Bucs do kick off at 1 Eastern today on CBS Sports with Ian Eagle and Charles Davis on the call. That should be a fun announce crew, J-Lo. So I'm a fan of those guys, and we'll see if you're a fan of any of these bets for today, J-Lo. And if you guys are listening at home, get your prop picks ready, get your betting apps ready, whatever the hell you got to do Stay with us, listen to us, and see if you could make some money today. Speaking of making money, we're going to see if Mayfield could be money today. J-Lo, Baker Mayfield over under 238.5 passing yards in this game. That's even money. If you bet 10 on it, you'd win 10. Do you think Baker Mayfield gets more than 238.5 passing yards?
I say bet over. I'll take that bet. I think he's going to be throwing the ball a lot today because the Texans definitely got a very underrated defense, and I see them shutting down our run for sure. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Texans are number one on shutting down the run on defense. So I'll take that bet. I see Baker throwing the ball at least 30 to 40 times today, which we all don't want to see 40 times. But, yeah, I'll take that bet. I'll say over.
Yeah, and I think over in that one as well. I think Baker has a good game today. I think Baker's been hearing a lot of the critics, has been hearing a lot of the hate as well out there. So, yeah, we're going to give our gambling advice. Both of us are going with Baker Mayfield over 238.5 passing yards in this one. Total touchdown passes by the player. Baker Mayfield over 1.5. If he throws 2 touchdowns, you win. If you put $10 on it, you would win $13.20. J-Lo, do you have guts? Are you going with Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing touchdowns?
Let's ride. Let's do it. I say yes. I see him throwing 2 touchdowns today for sure. I think he's going to get the ball rolling, throw 2 touchdowns. He's been pretty persistent on throwing at least 2 touchdowns a game, at least the last couple I've seen. So I'll take that bet. 2 touchdowns for sure.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think we're going to see 2 touchdowns out of Baker, especially we don't really have that goal line back to go in there and bruise him up a little bit, right? We kind of get a little stagnant offensively towards the goal line and look to throw seemingly. So I like that bet as well. And we're going to get into the interception side of things here. CJ Stroud over half an interception. So if he throws an interception, you win. If he doesn't throw one, you lose. You bet $10 on it. If he throws an interception, you would win $14.30. Do you got faith in the Bucs defense coming up with an interception against CJ Stroud today?
I think today's the day. He's got a banged up line. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball real well. So I'll take that bet. I think he's going to throw a pick or 2, depending the pass rush gets after him. So yeah, I'll definitely would do that. I'll take that bet.
I agree with you there. I would take that bet as well. I think that we're going to get an interception some way, shape, or form on CJ Stroud. As we alluded to earlier, I just think we're going to get after him. His offensive line is going to collapse a little bit, and we'll be making him reap. Mike Evans, over 59.5 receiving yards, J-Lo. If you bet $10 on it, you'd win 10 straight up. Do you like Mike Evans to get to 60 receiving yards in this one?
Yeah, I think Mike steps it up today. I think he'll definitely pass that mark on yardage. Probably won't get 100, but I think he'll get about 70, 75 yards receiving. I think he'll get his touches for sure to get the ball moving. And I think he'll even get a touchdown today. So, yeah, I'll take that bet. Over 55 yards.
Chris Godwin over 59.5 yards, so he needs to get 60. Are you taking that? Last game I took his over. It was 54.5 against Buffalo. He ended up getting to 54. Fell just a half yard short in that one, so gut-wrenching. Do you think Chris Godwin gets to the 60-yard mark receiving-wise today?
I think he will. He's starting to show up a little bit more the last couple of games. So, yeah, I'll take that bet. I think both our receivers are going to get the ball today and ball out and help contribute. So, yes, I'll take the bet on both Mike and Chris. If there was a combination, because sometimes they have combos, I'll take that bet all day for sure.
That'd be a cool combo bet. Maybe a cool parlay. Cade Otton over 26.5 receiving yards from our receivers to our starting tight end. He's been on and off this year. Do you think Cade Otton gets to 27 receiving yards in this one?
I'm afraid I will not take that bet. For some reason, I don't know. I feel like Canales is not favoring him a lot on pass plays, so I would say no to that one. I think I'll take my chance with our 2-star receivers over a tight end who's on and off. So I wouldn't take that bet.
Yeah, and then last but not least, out of the receiving yard category, Rachaad White, our running back, who's been more of a beneficial receiver out of the backfield the past couple of weeks. Rashaad's really coming on in that aspect of things. Over 29.5 receiving yards for Rachaad White. A little bit high for running back, but if anyone could do it, it's Rachaad. J-Lo, you got Rachaad getting over 29.5 receiving yards.
Yes. I think that's his best trait right now. Receiving the ball and just taking it up the field and get some yardage. I definitely like him getting over that many receiving yards. I might even take that bet myself.
Not a bad thought there. I think he gets over that mark as well. He's looked incredible in the receiving game. I don't get why we would do anything different to give him less receiving touches through the year this week. I think he's looked incredible in the screen game, and we got to keep feeding him with those sorts of things, J-Lo. Now on to the rushing side of things. Baker Mayfield over 10.5 rush yards. Do you think Baker Mayfield gets to over 10.5 rush yards? Do you think Baker has 11 rushing yards or more in this one?
Easily. Easily going to get over 10 yards rushing. Because he's a very underrated scrambler. When he's out in the open, he's actually pretty quick for a little guy. Little man can run, and he's got a hell of an arm too. So I definitely see him getting over 10 yards rushing for sure.
And obviously Brady was great, not much of a scrambler though. When he ran, it was always like, holy crap, what the hell's going on? His leg brace would clank off, fly off. It would just look like one of those processes wherever Brady goes to the ground or gets hit, you kind of hold your breath and hope he's all right. With Baker, he's a tough son of a gun. He's a gritty guy. I think he gets the 11 rush yards. He's looking to run sometimes, extend those plays, and make something out of him. So I agree with you there. Rachaad White rushing yards. Over under 49.5. That number seems a little high to me, J-Lo, given the little success he's had on the ground. But rush yard wise, you think Rachaad White gets over 49.5 rushing yards?
Nope. Not at all. Maybe he'll get close to it, but he ain't gonna get that many yards today. I'm just not confident in him running the football. Not with our interior linemen. I'm not. And what really drives me crazy is why is he going to the right side? Go to the left more, dude. Left side. But anyway, I'm not a running back, but no. He's a pass catching bat to me. He can make plays, catching the ball, but he's just not a true number one back at this point in time. And maybe he'll prove me wrong, and I hope he does. He likes to prove people wrong. Let's see it. So, yes, no to 49 yards rushing. That's a big no-no out of me.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get for this Bucs offense, seemingly. So until they prove otherwise, I think that's going to be a tough one to fathom. Chase McLaughlin over 5.5 points kicking in this one. That means 2 field goals gets him it, or a field goal and 3 extra points gets him it. Do you think Chase McLaughlin gets over 5.5 points?
And that includes field goals and extra points, or just field goals only?
Field goals and extra points. So if he has a field goal and 3 extra points, he gets it. If he has 2 field goals, he gets it.
Oh yeah, he'll get it. He'll get some field goals in today for sure. Because like I said, our red zone offense is a joke, man. Right now. And I think he'll definitely get his field goals in. And he's been outstanding this year. I've been very impressed with him coming in, making those big kicks. So I definitely see him getting like maybe 2 field goals and maybe a couple extra points, depending on the score prediction later.
Yeah, I think Chase McLaughlin gets to that as well, the over 5.5 point mark. This one's an interesting player to make an interception, including overtime. It does have odds for all 4 of the Bucs starting defensive backs, J-Lo. Carlton Davis, Ryan Neal, and Antoine Winfield Jr. have the same exact odds, plus 975 to get an interception. So if you were to put $10 on any of them and they get an interception, you would win $97.50. Jamel Dean shoots up to the 11-1 odds. If you bet Jamel Dean to get an interception, you put 10 on him and he does, it would win $110. So would you take any of those today? Carlton Davis, Ryan Neal, Antoine Winfield Jr., a $10 bet would get you $97.50 if one of them get an interception, or Jamel Dean, $10 bet would get you $110 if he gets you an interception. Are you taking the gamble and rolling with any of them today?
Absolutely. I think we'll definitely get a couple of interceptions today because of the depleted line that Houston's got. So, yeah, I'll definitely take that bet, especially with Jamel Dean with that much money. Oh, absolutely. $10 and you win that much cash, why not? Do it.
So you would
Do
take
it.
Jamel Dean if you had to take someone.
Absolutely, because Ryan Neal, no. Davis, no. Winfield, all day. But Dean's actually been, he hasn't got one yet this year, but he's the one that's getting closer to the ball, I think, on getting turnovers.
And his odds are you get a little more bang for your buck there too.
Oh, yeah. Beer money.
Comes in handy, as we all know too well. A couple more here, J-Lo. For a Bucs player to get a sack, whose odds do you like the most here? Shaq Barrett, plus 175. Kalijah Cansey, plus 220. Or JTS, plus 175. Whose odds do you like there? So if you bet $10 on Cansey to get a sack and he does, you'd win $22. If you bet $10 on Shaq or JTS to get a sack and they do, you'd get $17.50.
I like Cansey. I think Cansey's good. I'll bet on Cansey today. I like Cansey get in there and get a couple sets in there today. I'm really high on this kid today to make plays. JTS, I'm rooting for you, but I'm going with the rookie, man. I'm going with the bet on Cansey.
Yeah, I like Cansey as well. $10 to win 220, or I'm sorry, 22, not 220. That
I'm about to say you got me a little excited there, buddy.
yeah, season tickets in the near future. No, but
Now we're talking.
I like JTS to get a sack today. I think he's starting to feel the pressure. I think he knows Yaya Diaby is kind of creeping in. Anthony Nelson's kind of creeping in. JTS was a first-round pick. He knows he has not lived up to the hype or anywhere near the hype so far of a first-round pick. I think today's the day he explodes. He gets after the quarterback a little bit and makes a noise finally in the pass rush game. But that's our Bucs bets, J-Lo, and now we're going to get into the spread and over-under for the game itself. The Bucs are getting 3 points in this one. I'm guessing you would take the Bucs with the 3.
Absolutely.
And then the over-under is 39.5. Do you think these two teams are scoring more than a combined 39.5 points?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, truthfully. I think we'll get in the 20s for sure, and I think we'll contain Houston, at least in the teens, like maybe 13, 14 points. But I don't see him putting up 39.
Yeah, I kind of like the play of Bucs money line as well. If you put $10 on him, you'd win $12.80. The over/under, that's a tricky one. It really depends here in this one. Bucs have only gotten over 25 points once this year, and you're going to need some points out of the Texans to get to that over as well. But I would think they back into the over barely. I see this right around 40 to 41 points. I see either a last-minute touchdown, a last-minute botch to get it to the over somehow. I could be way wrong there, but give me Bucs money line. Give me the over here. Now we're going to get some tunes blaring here as we're going to go around the NFL and give our predictions on the games of today. See what we like, see what we don't like, see what our eyes are going to be on when the Bucs are playing, or just on another TV, even when the Bucs are playing. So here we go around the NFL now. We're going to try and keep it to 6 minutes or less here in NFL Week 9. J-Lo, we'll start with you. Dolphins, Chiefs. Do you think the Chiefs hang on to this one in Germany?
Yes. I feel like the Chiefs will hang on. They're experienced team. Dolphins are great. They're definitely improving, but I think the Super Bowl champs are gonna pull this one out in a close one.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think they hang on at this point, but I think it could be an interesting battle down the stretch with the Dolphins. I think they could keep it close. I think the Chiefs do have what it takes to pull it out, though, at the end of the day. Vikings, Falcons. Falcons at home -3.5 in this one. Who do you got?
You know what? I like the Vikings to pull an upset over the Falcons today. I think this kid Hall's going to show out a little bit, and the Falcons just look a little confused on defense. I mean, Will Levis picked them apart last week. I let them get beat again by another rookie. Vikings win.
Yeah, I got the Vikings as well. I don't know if that's a little home cooking or if that's a little bias or what the heck's going on, but I got the Vikings as well. I think the rookie quarterback has what it takes to pull out a victory today. I really do think he has what it takes to pull out a victory today. Moving on to the next one, and the Vikings are getting 3.5, so I definitely like their spread there. Seahawks getting 6.5 on the road, traveling to Baltimore. Who do you like in this one, J-Lo?
The Seahawks have been playing some pretty good football, but I gotta admit, going to Baltimore is a tough one. So I think Baltimore wins at home against the Seahawks in a close one.
Yeah, I think Baltimore gets him as well. I think that they really have their way today with Seattle. Seattle's one of those teams that looks so good at home, and then on the road they kind of look like a very beatable sort of opponent. So give me the Ravens pretty soundly today. I like the Ravens odds in this one. Moving on here, J-Lo. Rams, they might not have Matt Stafford in this one. They're heading to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Rams are +4. Who do you got here?
I like the Packers at home. I think the Packers will finally get a win. Finally win one for their fans at Lambeau. The Rams took a beating last week by the Cowboys. I just don't see them improving this week. With Stafford getting injured, if he plays, I don't see him finishing the game. I think the Packers get an underrated defense, that most people think. And I like the Packers at home.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like the Packers if Stafford's out, especially if Stafford's in. I do like the Rams, but if Stafford's out, give me the Packers. Packers just haven't really looked that great this year altogether. Jordan Love, Romeo Doubs, all of those guys. So we'll see what they could bring to the table today. Moving on after that, Cardinals-Browns. Cardinals getting 12.5 on the road. Seems like quarterback Clayton Tune will be under center for Arizona. Seems like Deshaun Watson will be under center for Cleveland. Do you get the 12.5 points in the Cardinals in this one, or are you laying the points with Cleveland?
I say Cleveland. I think Cleveland's at home. I think their defense is going to get after Clayton Tune today, and I say Cleveland wins big today at home against the Cardinals.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Cleveland gets a win today. I think Cardinals do cover the spread, though. I think they lose by 11 or 12 points, backdoor cover a little bit, and really help themselves solidify that 1 seed, right? Just because you cover a spread doesn't mean you're winning football games. I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. I think the Cardinals get that top pick in the draft, secure that top pick in the draft, and it starts with them continuing to lose games like they do today. Last game, or 2 last games on the 1 o'clock Eastern slate before we move into the 4 o'clock Eastern slate. Commanders are +3 on the road against the Patriots. Who do you got in that one? Commandos emptied the wheel shed with Chase Young and Montez Sweat being traded. Do you got the Commandos running wild in New England still, getting 3 points?
Nope. I like the Patriots at home. I think the Commanders are going to take a L today. I think they're going to go into New England, try to trade away two pass rushers, even though their defense is still pretty good. But I like the Patriots at home. I think they will take this one away from the Commanders.
Yeah, I this one's tough. Belichick has been coaching a little better. Commanders are also kind of fighting for their lives out there in terms of jobs. But yeah, this is tough. Give me New England. Give me New England. I think Belichick gets it done today. I think that's a tough one for the Commanders to overcome. The Godfather likes New England as well. So give us New England here today, -3. Moving on to that, as Bears-Saints, last 1 o'clock Eastern game. Bears are +9.5. on the road in New Orleans. I mean, without Justin Fields, I don't give the Bears much of a chance in this one. What say you, J-Lo?
Agreed. I think the Saints will end up winning at home. It's a tough environment to play in. And the quarterback for the Bears got exposed last week to the Chargers, and he's going to get exposed again.
Oddly
today.
enough, too, Taysom Hill's been a pretty good tool of success lately for the Saints. Whether it's throwing, catching, running, Taysom Hill's been all over the place.
No, he has. The Saints, they've been playing a little bit better football, but still, at the end of the day, the Bears are just a bad football team.
Yeah, as Mahomes takes an awkward slide out there in the Germany game, as that's in full brunt. But yeah, give me the Saints. I hope the Bears win. I hope the Bears keep it close. Hell, I hope the Bears win this one, man. I really do, but find it tough to believe the way the Bears are playing right now. But any given Sunday, right? Crazier things have happened. You never know if the Bears could pull this one out. Not going to hold my breath, but I will be. Yeah, I'll be rooting for the Bears today, as the Godfather will be as well. And I just noticed as well, it was an early one for me. I botched the spelling on the way too early pregame show. I'm missing an additional O, so Samir pointed it out. Thanks, Samir, for helping us out there, as I did botch the spelling. But hey, what the hell can you do, right? Two, I got to learn my differences in twos, I guess. But moving on to the afternoon slate here. 4:05 Eastern time. Colts are at Carolina. Colts are laying 2 points on the road here. Frank Reich revenge game. Do you like Carolina to stay hot, J-Lo, or do you think the Colts are going to bounce back here, given 2 on the road?
I like the Colts on the road in Carolina. I think Carolina got a very lucky win last week, being Houston, and the Colts have been putting up points. So I say the Colts on the road take out the Panthers, put them back on the losing streak.
I like the Colts on the road in this one as well. I don't think Frank Reich likes to step up to the competition. I think he kind of backs down a little bit. I think today he backs down against his former. Yeah, for real. When his former team comes to town, I think he'll do just that and back down. Giants going on the road to take on the Raiders. Giants getting 1.5. This one's 4:25 Eastern kickoff. Danny Dimes was back in this one. Are you rolling with Danny Dimes and the Giants, or are you rolling with the new coach Antonio Pierce, Vegas Raiders?
I'm going to go with the G-Men over the Raiders today. G-Men going there. Danny Dimes is back, even though I think he's booty. But, I think, on my opinion, the Raiders are just a very beat-up football team. They're just like the Bears, bad organization. I let the Giants go in there and get a win.
Yeah, and you never know how those type of games go, right? It's going to go one of two ways. The Raiders are going to come out fired up and play hard for their new head coach and give him respect, or they're going to come out, get their tails kicked in, and kind of roll over a little bit. We'll see what way the cookie crumbles. I like the Giants plus 1.5. I don't know if the Giants end up winning that game, but I like the Giants with the points in that one. My favorite bet out of that game, actually, is Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown scorer. I think we see Barkley spruce his way into the end zone in that one. Cowboys-Eagles, 3:25 Central, 4:25 Eastern. Probably the game of the day, unless the Sunday night game is the game of the day. But Cowboys are getting 3 on the road in Philly, J-Lo. Do you like Cowboys getting the field goal, or are you going to take the Eagles?
I'm going to take the Cowboys today. I'm taking the Cowboys to upset Philadelphia in Lincoln Financial Field today. They're starting to come on a little bit, winning wise. So I like them on the road in Philly today. I think Philly lose their second game of the season today.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Philly. Actually, I disagree with you there. I'm sorry. I think Philly wins this one against Dallas. I don't think Dallas has it in him today. I would take Philly, laying the 3 points. I think Eagles have been one of the better teams, if not the best team in the NFL to this point this season. They look strong. I don't think that changes today. Cowboys have been good, a little bit up and down for me, though. Give me the Eagles. Last game of the night, Sunday Night Football. We got a good one. The game that got canceled last year, 8:20 Eastern. Bills travel to Cincinnati to take on the Bungles. Bills are plus 2.5 at the Bengals in this one. Who do you got, J-Lo?
I gotta go with the Bengals at home. I like the Bengals at home, and beat the Bills. After watching the Bills beat us last week, they didn't really look as scary as I thought they would be. I mean, Josh Allen was on point, but at the same time, the Bengals have been playing a little bit better football, and I think they're better at home than on the road.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. I think the Bengals at home are a scary team, but this is going to be one of those emotional games, one of those games where you're a football fan and you're strapped into your seat, your cheeks are in your seat because it's a really appealing game, and we know the tragedy that happened last year with Damar Hamlin mid-game, so we'll see, if Buffalo could play with emotions and overcome that, or if the Bengals will stay hot here at home. Bengals coming off a big win on the road against San Fran last week. They might be smelling themselves a little bit. Buffalo has had 10 days to prepare for this one. Give me Buffalo tonight on the 10 days of preparation with the 2.5 points, where the Bengals just came off their biggest win of the year. Might be, smelling themselves, feeling themselves a little bit there in that one. Last game of the week. Tomorrow, Monday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern. You got the Chargers on the road, favorites minus 3.5. The Jets are home, getting 3.5. J-Lo, do you like the Jets at home being underdogs, or are you taking the Chargers? That's a long road trip. East Coast, West Coast, West Coast, East Coast.
Oh no, that's a tough one, honestly. Both teams are kind of like, you know what you're gonna get out of them. But I like the Chargers to go into New York after pounding on the Bears, finally waking up, getting that winning, feeling again. I'm just not sold on Zach Wilson, man. I'm just not sold on him. And at the end of the day, I like Chargers in New York.
Sounds like a law firm, Wilson and Wilson, Zach and Garrett, right? Give me the Jets. I think the Chargers haven't been playing that great of football this year. I think that's a long road trip for them. Even if they win by 3, I like the Jets covering that spread, and that's our look around the NFL as we are on the way too early pregame show. And once again, I did botch a spelling on the 2. My apologies on that behalf. It was an early one, guys. I was getting ready and rushing through the motions there a little bit. So thank you to Loose Cannon, Samir Ali, for pointing out the spelling mishap yet again as we're preparing for a big 1 o'clock Eastern showdown with the Houston Texans. Bucs winning this one will go a long way for the playoff race, for the playoff hopes in Tampa. And as we look at things, Jeremy, nothing really new on the injury front, but I do want to get into one more thing before our last big word and walk off. Baker Mayfield returning to Texas in this one. Looking for a good old Texas revenge game. Mustache, cowboy hat, all that fun stuff. You think Baker plays a great game today? Do you think he gets that Texas revenge game? He's been styling all week. Does it show on the field?
I think it does. I think he realizes that he needs to step his game up, and he can't be missing the targets today. He's got to be on point. So I let Baker have a good game today. I think he'll turn the ball over. I think he'll get a couple touchdowns thrown, manage the game, and just come out the dub, man. I like Baker today. I think he's going to have a pretty good game today.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Baker will have a nice little game today. I think he bounces back today. So I'm amped to see Baker with the bounce back. I'm amped to see how he looks today. And I think he does have his revenge game here in Texas as we keep our eyes out. We're a little over 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes to be exact, to kickoff for Bucs Texans. And J-Lo, we know with kickoff comes heart race, heartbreak, and all that fun stuff. What's your one big thing as we head into kickoff just hours away for the Bucs today? What's your one big thing?
Play smart football. Play smart football and put points on the board. Let's get some touchdowns, more than field goals. Let's get after CJ Stroud and shut down the run. And the offense produce, man. When your defense gets off the field, produce. get in there, put some points on the board. That way we can manage a lead. We haven't had that all year. I don't think we ever had, like, starting the game off with the lead. We've been, like, trailing, and then we come back and take the lead. So enough with the catch-up game. I think now we just need to stick with, scoring first, get aggressive, play smart football.
Yeah, and the Chiefs do score again as they're now up 14-0. I am not 100% sure, but I believe Jarrett McKinnon was able to prance his way into the end zone for the Kansas City Chiefs over
That
there.
kid is so fast. Man, I like that kid.
Yeah, he's really fast, and that game's 14-0, not even at halftime yet. Chiefs are all over the Dolphins here early. My one big thing heading into today's Bucs game, J-Lo, is get the hell after the quarterback. Get after him, pressure him. I don't care if he torches you on pressures. I just want to see hurries. I want to see quarterback hits. I want to see quarterback sacks. I'm tired of seeing a clean pocket with their quarterback having all day to throw. To me, that's hindered us greatly on third downs as well this year, as we're by far the worst third down team defensively in the NFL. So, J-Lo, I'm tired of the excuses. Time to put your nose in the ground, get after the quarterback, especially with Vita Vea back today. I know Logan Hall's out, but it's not like he's a premier pass rusher by any means. So we're going to have the likes of Vita Vea, Kalijah Cansey, Shaq Barrett, and JTS ready to roll out there today. We better get some sacks, damn it. They're on their fourth center and a couple other linemen out and a tight end's out as well. So a lot of their blockers are down and hurt for this one.
Oh, I agree. I also want to see Yadi Diaby, man. I want to see the rookie get in there and get his looks in too. I said they need to have a QB, destroying party today. Give him an official welcome to the NFL, boy.
Between Yaya Diaby and Anthony Nelson, I would like to see the deck shuffled a little bit more with our pass rushers. And
Agreed.
if we do get our pass rush going, I really do believe today's the day we get an interception with our defensive backs. It was just Pop's birthday. He got a Carlton Davis jersey for his birthday. Maybe Carlton Davis will get the interception today. Maybe it'll be Jamel Dean. Maybe it'll be Antoine Winfield. But whoever it is, we need some pressures. We need some turnovers today. We need to see that Bucs ball back from the beginning days here, J-Lo, as we're sprinkling and turning into the end of the program here. What's your final word as we're a couple hours from kickoff now? Bucs on the road, underdogs against the Texans. What's your final word here, big man?
My final word is...
Anything you want to bring up that we haven't touched on yet? Any sorts of things as such?
No, I mean, we pretty much nailed it, man. I feel like, we need to get after the quarterback, get off the field on third down, and stop giving him all day to throw the ball. It's very frustrating as not only a fan, but it's frustrating as a defensive coordinator or head coach watching your team give this quarterback a clean pocket, get after him. Like I said, and offense, got to get it going. When the defense gets off the field, you need to go run the tables, get the ball to your two playmakers, and get it going. You got that's basically it, man. Get back to the winning feeling, and take it into next week. When the Bucs win a game, it's more, it's really satisfying. You forget about all the other losses we've had lately. You just got to get the win streak going again. And I think they can do it starting today, next week.
Yeah, my final word is this. I hate the fans that want to tuck their tails and play for next year, play for the draft pick, yada, 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 all that bogus stuff. Listen, I hate that shit. I hate tanking. I hate doing all that bull crap. I never want to see my team do that as a fan of the team. So, no, I don't want to see the Bucs lose. No, I don't want to see the Bucs tank. I don't really care at the quote-unquote quarterback prospects of next draft. Get me to the playoffs now. Thank you. I'm a fan in 2023, not a book nerd waiting to see what's going to happen in 2024. Half of these high-end projected quarterbacks could very easily shit the bed anyways. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Jamarcus Russell, RG3's career never panned out. Josh Rosen a couple years back. Even Andrew Luck, I mean, he had a hell of a career, but cut way short because of injuries, right? Sam Darnold hasn't really been the guy people thought he would be. Rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins, but when he was in the NFL, he wasn't really first round. I mean, look at Daniel Jones right now. He's not looking good. So J-Lo, you could kind of pick apart. Kenny Pickett hasn't looked that great. All these first round quarterbacks over the past decade or so. And you could really see why some teams are hesitant to not only take one in the first round, but are super hesitant to not tank to get a high pick in the first round.
I mean, there's one more example. Look at the Cardinals.
And Jameis, right? I mean, the 1 year the Bucs quote unquote tanked, we ended up with Jameis, and look at how that happened.
No wins at home. I was a season pass holder that year. I hated Lovie Smith, and I still hate the bastard. You tank for Jameis Winston, and
was going to call you Ronnie Night Train Lane there for a minute.
Dude, like Jameis Winston, I don't care what these Winston haters want to call me out, whatever. He is booty, trash. He's a backup for a reason. Even the Vikings didn't want to trade for him because he sucks. He's gonna be known as the number one bust that couldn't get it going. Yeah, you could put your leadership on there, but you gotta go out there and ball out. He didn't do that at the time. He cost us football games. Okay, you don't throw 30 interceptions and expect to have a winning season. 7 of them were returned for touchdowns. And the funny thing is, Tones, is that there's still some Jameis fans out there that still want to run them out saying, get Jameis back.
They'll never go away. Those same people, when we won the Super Bowl, said we could have with Jameis, so they never,
Trust me. I didn't like the guy at Florida State. I'm a Gator fan anyway, and I didn't like when we took him. Even though Mariota didn't pan out well either, but I would have took Mariota because he had turned the ball over like Jameis did.
Wow, so not to ruin it, but Chiefs just scored a defensive touchdown now, it looks like. I'm not quite sure what happened here, but it looks like a fumble occurred. The Chiefs picked it up. It looks like a lateral happened, and they're on their way to the end zone, and they're really pounding the Dolphins now here, 20-0. As Christopher Cole joins us, better late than never, says Bowles needs to unleash the dogs. We talked about that all pod, brother. We talked about getting after the quarterback all pod. So feel free to replay. And, that's a fumble. Raheem Mostert looks like it was the problem behind that one. But regardless, J-Lo, any last thoughts here, brother, before we jump off?
Well, you're just talking about the Chiefs pounding on the Dolphins. Guess what? Coaching. That's great coaching. That's what every team needs to take out of the Chiefs playbook. Coaching. That's why Andy Reid is getting his flowers, because he's a good coach. He knows how to keep it together. That's why I hope, Bowles gets his head out of his ass and play the players that want to play. Play the players that are going to make the plays. Not just go with your loyalty. Please, I beg of you. If you want to be a head coach, you're going to have to make some tough decisions. And if things keep going the way your boy Devin White is doing, bench him.
And that was Tyreek Hill on the fumble. So, former Chief fumbling. Speaking of former, let's see if the Bucs, former NFC South champs from last year, could get back to the top. It starts with a win today against the Houston Texans, and it's been a blast here on the way too early pregame show. There are 2 O's, not 1 O. My apologies again. In weeks past, I had it right. Damn it, I blame myself for being late, waking up in a hurry this morning. But it's been a beauty here on the Buccateers. Breakfast with the Buccateers on the way too early pregame show. J-Lo alongside Tampa Tones each and every Sunday. Get your Bucs pregame on with us early. We're the first pregame show, to my knowledge, out there on game days to be bringing you guys Buccaneer content and Buccaneer conversations. J-Lo, let's get a damn win today, brother, shall we?
Game's going to be on CBS today. Let's get the dub. Last time we were on CBS, we got to win, so let's do it again.
There we go. Last time we were on CBS, we got a dub. We got some good ones today. Charles Davis and Ian Eagle breaking down this one. It's going to be a fun one. 1 o'clock Eastern time, and Houston's in a dome, so it ain't going to be too hot down there either. The Bucs should have a nice little temperature to play with.
And show some love for the podcast, people. Buccateers podcast, man. Show the love. Let's
Like,
Bucs fans.
subscribe, and turn that notification bell on so when J-Lo, I, and the rest of the guys go live, you could be right there with us right away. And by the way, if the Bucs do win today, we're going to do another giveaway. Earlier this year, we gave away a Luke Godecki signed mini helmet, and that one went really well. If the Bucs win today, we're going to have a nice little Bucs package put together for winner. It'll include a Mike Elstott Ring of Honor coin from Raymond James Stadium. It'll include some vintage creamsicle hat, and it'll include a Jameis Winston autograph as well. So we're going to put together a Bucs little package here if the Bucs win today, and it's going to be an incredible chance to win some Bucs memorabilia. On behalf of J-Lo, it's Tampa Tones and J-Lo in the house for the way too early pregame show. Remember, 2 O's, not 1. I'll remember that next time. I'm breakfast with the Buccateers, and on behalf of the 4 of the 6-pack that couldn't be here today, Cats, Bucko, Stunna, and Huncho, we wish you guys nothing but the best on game day. Fire the damn cannons. Go Bucs. Go Bucs. 3-2-1. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Carlton Davis with the pick 6. Bucs win. Bucs win. Bucs end up Houston 31-14. What a beautiful day it is. What a beautiful score that would be. Have a great one, J-Lo. I'll talk to you through the game, brother.
All right, brother. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs. The damn cannons. I forgot that. Fire the damn cannons.
Fire the motherfucking cannons. Let's go.
My bad. Go Bucs. Fire the damn cannons. Let's fucking go.
Bring the hype, come.
Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.